Right? We keep taking them in. Welcome back.
Is it true? Is it true you guys are leaving? The building.
Huh?
Is it true you guys are leaving the building? My husband heard it.
What? When are we're leaving?
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a rumor.
Welcome back to Open Hours. We're here. We're doing it. Get everybody concerned about that one. All right, people. We got some serious action today. Am I unmuted? Sure, I am. We're gonna see if we can get a charge happening while we get some other stuff going.
What? You do it like this.
Alright.
Or you can do it like
Alright. Here's where we are.
I didn't even know it was. I was cruising around there. And
What? The bike? Yeah, that happens, man. I always seem to run into, like, it runs out and I get stopped like the day it runs out or something. I'm like, I didn't even know. Yeah, it's doing its thing, man. Or no, it's done. It says done.
doesn't say next though.
No, it's still going then. Scroll all the way to the bottom. 3 is empty, not active, all the way to the bottom. It says done. Let it do what it's doing. It's not done yet. It'll finish up. Yeah, that always throws me too when I see that done. But if there's still stuff up here, then I think it's going. Is how I see it.
Looks like it still runs on.
I put my contact email, but this is the only computer I have, so you can't contact me that way.
Okay, so here's what we got. We pulled our wires out. We've labeled these ones so we know what order they go in.
My password for this.
With the...
What's it doing now?
I spilled coffee.
Oh, she's the one that spilled coffee on the keyboard.
Just
Uh-oh.
a little bit,
Coffee on the keyboard.
Just a little bit, but it doesn't fire up no more.
but it won't turn on though.
That happens.
But I kind of turned it over, and a few drips come out, and then I put, now listen, then I have one of those gooseneck lamp things. I put the light on all night to dry up. Think it help?
No.
No.
Good try, though.
Alright, thank you. And I'll let you know whenever we come up with a conclusion situation. Nice laptop though.
Oh, yeah, I've had it.
Alright.
A little 4i3 in it.
We're labeled with dots. 1, 2, 3, and 4 going inside. And that's just to let us know our position of where they get plugged back into the harness. And then also,
I'll email you whenever you get
black ones you can't label black.
Yeah.
Label on black with a black wire. I have a white pen somewhere, white marker, but I just don't have it here. So we're going to let them lay where they are. Before we do anything and start arcing the battery to the board, if there's any voltage in it, which there is, we're going to get the multimeter back out and test those wires bundled together to see what happens. Are they just all coming off the same spot? And that's to feed different number of pins here? Or is it going to increase our voltage? So let's check that out so we know more or less what we're doing. Okay, and we've got a multimeter here. With no voltage. Oh, was I on the wrong one again?
What? Lemon.
Our battery may have died. Okay, so we are getting nothing. It doesn't look like any charge held from our last, from our last attempt, which I wouldn't expect it to. However, let's try the very inside and then the very outside to see if they're have a weird layout. It's happened before, and we'll see if it'll happen again. Alright, so no voltage coming out whatsoever, just to be on the safe side. I don't think we're going to get anything here either. Alright, please excuse me, we've got a phone call. Oh. Alright, and we are back. Sorry about that interruption. One of the bosses was calling. Okay, so we have no power no matter where we go with our volts. And I forget the names for them, I honestly do. You have where it can throw the power further, like how the electric gets to the house. I forget the names for it. When I do remember, we'll throw it out here in the stream. But it's escaping me at present moment. Let's go ahead and find out what is going on here. Again, we're doing some testing, and we got nothing. Just because I have doubt in these old multimeter test leads, I'm going to pull these off of the charger, because they also happen to work as test leads for a multimeter, and we'll get a good connection to our battery. And watch it read. That means my leads are just dead. And no, that's not the case. It doesn't look like. Alright, so absolutely zero voltage between any of the pins. We're going to go ahead Alright, so the socket is a little loose, but I'm putting that more on the banana plug than maybe a broken socket, I would suppose. It might be a little loose. Might have took a bump. But we're not losing connection with our beep. If you can hear that. Alright, so let's get these back to the charger, and we're going to see about getting this charge happening. Remember, whenever you plug these in, always take that moment, check your charger, that you're plugging red into red, black. Don't want to cause any fires on purpose. Again, this is a lithium ion battery. So we could do a LiPo type charge. The problem is, let's try it. Let's do our LiPo style charge right now. We know that looking at this battery, it is 3.7 volts, so they have it listed as a it's a 1-cell battery, 1S. All these wires coming off just are going feeding different pins, coming from the same place, and really it's 2 batteries wired together to make one, so it's still the 1-cell battery. We're going to take and 3.7 volts. We're going to charge at well less than 3.5 amps. We're going to try for 0.5 amps just to be safe. We don't want to feed too much power in. Hey, the boss called. Give her a call back. Yeah, on the shop phone.
Really?
Yep.
This new bypass I put in. She's gonna take that glass back over the patio.
If it doesn't end up on the floor in pieces.
Right. That's what Dawn
I guarantee that that's 90% more likely than it going home.
said. Oh, I had that. Alright, now, I'm gonna see if I can find tough. It might still be done. I got it. It's worth it. Yeah, he needs it.
Alright, we've got that attached to our positive leads. Now we're going to try and stack up our negative leads in the same fashion and see what a LiPo charge will do, which it shouldn't be willing to do much because of the voltage being so low on this. This will charge lithium ion, lithium polymer, and lithium phosphate batteries, but not if the voltage is too low.
Hey.
Good effort. They're not all, they're all kind of touching. So let's try and do at 3.7 volts at half an amp to see if it will take it. It more than likely is going to say low voltage. Or error out, lose connection, maybe not. So let's try it. Okay, so since it didn't air out, I'm going to go for a better connection here on all 4 of these leads versus just being connected to 2 with the other 2 kind of touching. We'll go for all 4 being secured. See, you leaving? Yeah, we are too soon.
Yeah, if there's any next scan, you can put them on there if you want, if they want something. I'm gonna come back in about an hour or so and reset them scans.
Well, good luck.
See you in a while.
See ya.
Okay, come move this motor to Big John first.
Do it up. Alright, so here we go. We have a charge going, and funny enough, it didn't do the check and say low voltage like it normally does with like an RC battery, a LiPo battery. It's actually charging and getting it up to a base voltage. Now, we don't have the battery heating up, so I'd say we're relatively safe with the charging. Not recommended in charging this way. However, if you have a device that hasn't been charged in a long time and there is some kind of logic in place not letting the battery charge whenever it's below that minimum voltage, you have to get that voltage up in the battery for it to charge. So we're at 3.2 volts currently. Whenever you charge a battery like this, you'll notice that it'll start charging up and then probably drop a little and then start charging up some more and drop. It'll bounce around a little bit, and then eventually it will level out and start building the power more and more. So we're at 3.20. We know it can go up to 3.7, I think. Is that what's listed here? 3.7 max. Okay, max charge voltage 4.2 volts. So we have a ways to go with this. Remember, we're only going at half an amp right now, so we could be. The reason you don't want to go at a high amperage, more likely you're going to do damage, and you don't want to catch your battery on fire, have it explode, burst into flames, whatever. You don't want to take any unnecessary risk. Could you charge it at maybe 1 amp? Sure. At 2 amps? Maybe. I don't know. I never experimented that high. I always keep it within kind of safe limits, even though this is not the ideal way to charge. While that's going on, we do have a view from there. We can check that out as well. It's just another view for the time being. We have, I just almost don't believe it. We've got a couple all-in-ones here. And let me see if I can clear some room. I'm going to try and keep an eye on this here, 3.26 volts, because I don't want it to charge for real long. I just want to get the voltage up a little so that it may charge normally. It's the same thing, exhibiting those signs of a device that hasn't been plugged in for a long time, or they lost the charger, who knows what, and it just would not charge. Alright, we're going to take a moment and get some room. Get some room on the bench for what do I want to call it? This all-in-wonder computer. Let me grab it. We'll get it back here. We have a few other things here going on. We've got a coffee damaged Dell. We've got, I think that's an Acer. So we've got a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of them are just the same over and over repairs. We'll throw that one there. I don't even know what this is, but you ready? Let's check our voltage so we're not getting too distracted. We are at 3.31 volts. We'll let that there for a little bit. And let's look at it. You ready? Check it out. I have not seen one of these for a while. So let's find out what we're even looking at here. Where's the tag on it? This is oh, there we go. That's the info we were looking for. A Dell W01B. So let's go ahead and hop on over to our LCD quick. What are they going to tell us? Yeah, we don't even see it there. Inspiron 119. Is this what they're... That don't look like it. That... Of course, that may be. That looks like a newer model, though. It's missing some of the other stickers, which is why it's being such a pain. So let's put in our service tag. 38KK1, 4V38KK1, 4V38KK1. So if you're trying to identify your Dell, it's missing stickers, and you do have your Dell service tag, you can go to support, Dell.com. And this is if you're trying to find out what model you're dealing with. And what did I say that was? 4V38? 4V38KK1, correct? 4V38KK1. Here we go. Let's find it. So it's a Spiral 119. So I guess we were on the right thing on the previous page. In Spiral 119. It has an older Intel Pentium CPU, Windows 7 computer. So this is going to be fun to tear apart. We will be getting to the repair on this. We're just a little out of room. When turned on, the screen turns blank. Small light comes on left hand upper corner. So it looks like something is malfunctioning with the panel. I'm going to say this is a fix. Maybe it'll be a capacitor. We're at 3.37 volts. So not even up to that mid-range. I think the minimum is like 2.96 and the maximum was what, 4.2. So we're getting up there in voltage. Let's go ahead. We're going to stop the charge here. Get our multimeter out, see if we can get a reading off of the pins. If we can, we'll plug them back into our connector. Get the connector sorted out. Get all the wires sorted to the connector. Plug the connector into the logic board or the motherboard of this particular tablet, and then we'll see if we can get a charge going. And I think that's where we'll call it for today. We're going to do that and then get out of here. It is dinner time and we've got a guest with us. So we'll stop our charger and then we're going to carefully disconnect our leads. We don't want any of these touching together, especially when we're putting it back together here. I'm going to go ahead and sort all the black ones out first. Plug them in one by one. What's that look like? Yeah, hands in the way. I get it. Okay, we do have some sort of a problem. We don't want to keep touching all this stuff, but we want to get our wire back out. I need to plug these in the proper way. This is going to be that way. Nope. Excuse me again, people. 1 minute. Alright, that's what happens. Sorry for that interruption there. When you get too many bosses, you gotta answer. Gotta answer to all these bosses. They demand an audience. You can't ignore the man or the woman in this case. Let's try and get all these back in here. They are not going in easy, I'll tell you that much, compared to how easy they came out. But I'm laying that on when they're going in, they're smacking into the little plastic leg that stands down and locks them back in place. That, and they're kind of spinning and holding the wires spinning slightly, so. That's another one locked in. Let's go for number 2, which is this one. And we'll see. Now, we just got basically a charge on there. If anything, I'm saying we probably got like 1, maybe a couple percentage. Not 1 or 2, but probably a couple percentage, so not a whole lot. Alright, and there is the battery. Let's plug it back in and watch it light on fire. Alright, not true. So there's that. We're going to go ahead and grab some power for this thing, which will come in the form of this. We got this here. We'll plug it in and give it a go on the charge. See what the outcome is, and if this doesn't work, well then we're moving on to motherboard problems. And I think at that point it's really not worth getting repaired. It really isn't. When you're talking these cheaper tablets, you can go buy a new one cheaper than you can repair them most times. The only time it makes sense is whenever it's yours and you're doing the repair yourself. That's when it's economical to repair it, because you're not paying somebody else to do the labor, you're doing the labor. So far so bad. We do have a charge light, but we had that all along, and I'm guessing, let me find the button, let's try and turn it on. Nothing as of yet. We're going to kick it down a little bit in power. We're going to see if that makes a difference. It doesn't seem that it will. It actually isn't even, we're not even getting a light here. So this charger doesn't work, we know that. Let's try a different route. Let's go with the old power brick and the micro USB cable to see, do we have enough juice on that battery? And I entirely forgot to test it with the multimeter to see if that charge mattered. Will the USB charge? The port feels very, very loose, but we are getting that charge light again. Now when we look out here, I don't think we're going to get anything. We did have that before, but still no type of charge on the system. Not to where it can turn on. So maybe that will work if we do it longer. We'll do that when we dig into something else. We'll throw it on the charger for more than like 7 to 10 minutes and see if we can get this up. For now, let's just pull this back out and see what the outcome here is. Can we get a voltage with the multimeter? I'm gonna say no for the little bit we charged it. I would like to see some type of voltage, even though the charger read something, that still may not be the case. So let's plug in. We do know our leads work. Let's find out how much they work. Okay, so we are back up at some voltage. It actually held. It's holding 3.34. I think it was 3.32 is what it read. Sorry, I know it's got a massive glare on the thing. We'll attempt that. That works. Okay. So, and when we go across multiple pins, we're still getting that 3.34, and we're touching at least 4 pins there, if not more. So it is jumping around. Now that I'm not moving, it's hard to hold that connection on a multiple pins. Any of them that we go to should give us roughly the same voltage the whole way around, within the same range. Alright, so we didn't get the battery up very high. We did get it up some, up to I think it was 3.0 if I remember last stream. We're up to 3.3. We're going to try a longer charge. Sadly, that is all the time I have for today. So we got a short one out there. And this is what I try to do is, if you were somebody without knowledge of this type of stuff, how would you go about solving it at home? How would you try to fix it? Or how could you try to fix it? There's always safety involved. You know, like I said, you don't want to arc your battery. That can short it out, and then you're buying a new battery. Not always. Sometimes they'll take a short or two, depending on the quality of the battery, before it kills it. Other ones, you let them wires touch once and your LiPo is dead. But yeah, how would you go about... This is unreal. I saw something I haven't seen for a long time. Malwarebytes anti-root kit. 165 malware items detected. So anyhow, more about that later. Yeah, I always want to take an approach. How could somebody without knowledge, what could they learn? Not saying this is the right way, but this is one way to go about fixing something. And aside from that, the work must go on with other stuff, so I will be back tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Anyone for watching now and in the future. Have a good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Wherever you are, it's one of those. Enjoy it. Let's try to fix something. Yeah. Thank you. I do appreciate you.